Hello and welcome to day number 11 of my personal projects advent calendar. Today I want to talk about one of my recent software projects and a project that I use on nearly a daily basis. It's called MDiary and is a simple diary application written in C for the GNOME 3 ecosystem. One of the base decisions of this diary system was that it had to be database-less, as you'll see later, because I want to be able to, like, if I write this diary now and the software at some point I stop maintaining it or I drop it, I want just to be able to read the entries using a simple text editor. I don't want to use any special kind of software. So what you can see here is the basic software interface that you get after opening the program. On the top left, you can see the Choose Workspace button, which allows you to switch between different workspaces. So you can, for example, have one for your diary, one for your dream diary, or for some other projects. For example, right now, what you can see here is one of my just translation exercises, which I do, which I also keep in this program. Then here in the top middle, we can see the list of entries that are available, sorted by default date, but you can sort by title or tags. And if you click one, the entry will show below. Entries will be shown in a rendered view down at in the lower area. And if you double click, it will open the source file. As I said, the source file for me just had to be simple text. I didn't want any crazy markup or creepy features. It has to be possible to open it using a simple text editor. And as you can see here, this is just basic Markdown, so basic TXT, and you can also use Markdown formatting for both, for example. Additionally, the only non-standard thing is this kind of header here. But if you run it through Markdown, it will also render properly. It's just that this part here will be loaded as metadata by MDiary. You don't have to have this, but how should it know what the date of the entry is? Then, as I said, down here you see the rendered view. You can configure it by going into the settings window, and you have three options here. Full HTML with images is we render it using a proper Markdown library and display it in a WebKit view. We can go to basic formatting, which will run it through a very rudimentary regex-based, essentially, Markdown renderer, which will show the Markdown in a normal text field. And then there's text only, which will show the source we just saw. If we open the workspace in the file browser, we can see how it is actually organized. You can see it is a simple directory structure. There's just directories, and the tool will scan for .md files in directories and subdirectories. For example, if we open this file here, this is what we looked at before. So you can see, even if the software was to not run anymore, we can still access all the data and build maybe another simple application which can access the files and parse them. One such example is this website I created for the translations. This uses the same base material, and you can see it's really easily converted into like a website view. Just to quickly show you the search functionality, let's search for something. You can search for titles, summary, tags, text. Let's, for example, do handshake. You can see tags are auto-completed, tags and titles are auto-completed, so we can just search for this. And now we will get all entries containing either the handshake tag or containing handshake in, for example, here, the summary. If we remove this, the entry will vanish. You can also do full text search. Works pretty well. It's pretty fast even. So up until now, I haven't run into any performance issues because it is all loaded into RAM. You can also say, okay, I just want entries from a certain date to a certain date, or if we click the to button, we can get a menu which is just which will set both, so we can get a specific date. So let's just say we want all the ones which start in August. We can see now the oldest one is from August. All the code for the program is of course open source. You can get it on my Git repository. I'll link it in the video description below. So if you're interested, please check it out. There's no pre-compiled binaries, but it's very simple. Especially if you're on Arch, you can go into the dist folder and then into Arch Linux and just execute make package, and it will build you an Arch package. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you tomorrow.